The Bengals got it done, and it appears they might pull off the triple play. What do I mean by this? The Bengals had 2 wide receivers needed to get paid. T. Higgins was last year, and they franchise tagged him. And he got upset because the franchise tag wasn't placed on him. It was slapped on him. You know how it works. Yep. Players don't want it. It's slapped on him. Yeah. Players don't mind it. It's placed on him. Well, it was slapped on T. Higgins. And he asked for a trade. The Bengals are like, yeah, no. And then he wound up saying, all right, I'll sign the tender. And then guess what happened? Franchise tag got, I don't know, placed on him. It's not like he wanted it, but it's a nice chunk of change. And it also meant they just had more runway to sign him. So it was placed on him. And then if he had a play on it, then it would be slapped. You understand what I'm saying? Mm. Last year it was just slapped. He knew it wasn't. He knew the tag was going to be the tag. Meanwhile, Jamar Chase last year, he had a case for getting paid, meaning it was earlier than most teams would pay a wide receiver because he had one more year of contractual control on his 5-year-long rookie deal. That would be this year. And the NFL, when it comes to paying wide receivers, usually doesn't pay them early. But when you're as great as Jamar Chase, and you have a college teammate in Justin Jefferson, who was paid the most of any non-quarterback in the NFL a year earlier than the Vikings had to do it, then you've got a case. And last year, he was like, I want to get paid. And the Bengals like, yeah, no. and then he holds in. Doesn't hold out. He holds in. He holds in and still doesn't get paid. And starts the season a little bit banged up, right? A wee bit, unless it was tough to suss out. Was it really hurt? Or was he really just holding in the entire time saying, I'm kind of hurt? Oh, my. But when the Bengals, hold him on a snap count, was it because he was hurt or because he was holding in and you got to be on a snap count week 1, yada, yada, yada? They lost to New England, one of the more mysterious results of the 2024 regular season.
So dumb.
And then Jamar Chase gets back in, gets his legs under him, and comes up with the 5th Triple Crown season in the history of wide receiving.
Nuclear. I'm always open.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was that soundbite after the Bengals went for it on a 2-point conversion against the Ravens, and he wasn't targeted?
Yeah.
Well, he's got a quarterback that can handle that sort of stuff because not only he's got a thick skin, they go way back to the college days, literally. It's not like a figure of speech when it's Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Well, at any rate, the guys finally, did you guys hear over the weekend? I know we text one another whenever there's like an earthquake in the area. We always just, hey, earthquake.
Earthquake. There were several.
Right. Did you hear, you were in Arizona at a golf tournament, right?
Yep.
I was probably in a performance of my son's musical over the weekend because I saw 3 of it over the weekend because I'm best dad ever.
You earned that sign.
By the way, he and his school's performance of Rent was like Broadway quality. It was amazing.
Word.
But at any rate, where were you this weekend? I don't know if you heard it. I don't know wherever you were this weekend.
I was at the crib.
Okay, you were at the crib. Did you hear wait a minute, that sounds like a Velcro wallet ripping open.
I did kind of, yeah. Like in the middle of the day. Like, what's happening?
Mike Brown's Velcro wallet. Write that down. That's not a bad fantasy team name.
I think that's already on the list.
Mike Brown's Velcro wallet. It ripped open, and the Bengals paid Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Wow. T. Higgins gets a $115 million contract, 2 years of it's guaranteed, apparently. And then Jamar Chase gets a contract in which he is paid an average of $40.5 million a year, which is the most of any non-quarterback in the NFL. Thank you, Myles Garrett. Signing $40 million a year. T. Higgins, a handshake emoji on his social. And there's that. Now then. Kudos, they got it done. Doesn't matter if they win championships. Doesn't. Because it does appear Trey Hendrickson might be next. You're seeing it everywhere. Bengals players are tweeting out 91's coming in. He's number 91. And, Duke Tobin, the GM of the Bengals, said at the Combine, we're going to sign all three. And was like, okay, good luck. Looks like they might.
Wow.
Mike Mayock, who we listen to, because when he speaks, he is quite knowledgeable. Former general manager of the Las Vegas Raiders, came on this program when everything was going down over the last few weeks, saying the Bengals are going to sign the receivers, and if they don't sign one, it will be Hendrickson. Because they got to take care of Joe Burrow in his years of being a primo quarterback. Makes sense. And if they get Trey Hendrickson on top of it, well, then that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because one would think if they can't sign Trey Hendrickson, you have to do the math and go, well, wait a minute. Could have signed last year. CeeDee Lamb signs for 34.5, right? Took less than Justin Jefferson. Let's just say Jamar Chase was willing to do that. Well, let's just say he was willing to go, I'll go what you just did for me here by beating the top annual salary of a non-quarterback by $500,000. Okay? Let's say they would have gone 35.5. Oh, this is 40.5. That's $5 million more a year. Could have done it last year for cheaper. And $5 million more a year. Let's just say the delta between they and Trey right now, it's $5 million a year. You know what I mean? Let's just say that's what the delta is. See where I'm going with this? Uh-huh. I don't get it. Unless, again, there's cash issues. Because you got to, when you're guaranteeing salary, place cash aside in escrow. And if there's any cash issues, and I don't mean to cast any aspersions, because that's what I'm left wondering. Why would a team that knows they're going to sign somebody wait? I don't get it.
I mean, we always give the Cowboys crap about this, and, deservedly. But, man,
dude,
this team.
The price for Micah just went up $1 million a year. Because the Bengals beat the Garrett contract by 0.5. Mm-hmm. And if you got to beat this contract by 0.5, that's now $1 million more than Garrett. If you beat the Bengals to the altar on Chase, that's $500,000. That could have been, somebody else's running back that was third on their depth chart that they're willing to give the starter's job to. Honestly, that I know that sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but that is the way they're building their roster right now in Dallas. And I don't mean to congratulate the Bengals by kind of broadsiding them while giving the back of my hand to Dallas at the same time here, but it's the truth.
I thought we were all crapping on the Bengals, and then somehow it got turned
because
back.
Every signing of this note does have a ripple in the pond. It does have a ripple in the pond. And anybody who's got to pay a top-notch non-quarterback in the league, just watch the price of T go up. You just watched it go up. Now, Trey Hendrickson apparently is going to accept $30 million a year. And I know this just sounds like ridiculous money, and it's generational enriching.
But he's an older pass rusher. And that's a lot of money for a guy who's going to be 31. We don't know if he's got how many more great years left.
Does it matter, though? You got to sign him if you can. Your Overreaction Monday subject matter that was first up, I believe, on the pod, where everybody can check it out right now. Please, wherever you get your pods, and also the Rich Eisen Show YouTube channel, was if they don't sign Trey Hendrickson, they're going to get right back to 2024. They're going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, that's not going to matter.
And I called that an overreaction because Myles Garrett hasn't turned me into a complete cynic just yet.
We're getting closer, though, every day.
But, that's the issue here, was last year they had Burrow and Chase to the tune of a Triple Crown season. And then when Higgins was healthy, they had Burrow, Chase, and Higgins. And then they have Chase Brown, who's terrific, right? They signed Gesicki again, didn't they?
Yep.
So they got that side of the ball kind of handled.
They're doing everything that Joe Burrow has been asking. But is it going to matter? The AFC is so deep and stacked with star quarterbacks, star teams loaded. I don't know what Cincinnati's got to do.
Well, take a look right there. I mean,
But that missed the playoffs this year.
That's what I'm saying. They got a new defensive coordinator in Al Golden they brought in. And, he was the Notre Dame defensive coordinator that's formerly from Cincinnati, where he coached the linebackers earlier this decade. And they're hoping that will help the process. And if they bring Trey Hendrickson back, now you're talking. Now you're talking, and go draft. Go draft and go find your front seven to go hunt Mahomes. With all due respect to the rest of that division that just appears to be getting tougher for them to win. So getting Hendrickson would be very crucial for them.
They lost 4 games last year when they scored over 30 points.
But note to anybody building in an NFL roster, sign him early, sign him now, sign him before. Name me another. Like you take a look at any roster, right, around the league where who's going to have to be signed and who's not. You just know it. Mm-hmm. You see it, you know it. I'm trying to go in my head right now which quarterback. I mean, C.J. Stroud, the Texans are going to sign him, right? Like the first minute you can do it, do it. Do it. And by that I mean as soon as he is done with his 4th year, you're talking to him as soon as you can. Signing him after 3 would be really aggressive.
That was going to be my question to you. If that's the case, why don't these teams, you kind of know this guy's going to be your guy for life? Why wait till the 4th? Why show some good favor, like give him some extra money and then save yourself some money?
Because look at what's going on with the 49ers right now. That's going to be a fault point. Like the quarterbacks wanting to get paid in a year even earlier than what teams are willing to do or have habitually been willing to do. But beating everyone to the punch, knowing that, hey, the price is going to go up to $60 million a year at some point. Although there has been a market correction on the quarterback salary front. Looks like have you been whispering in the owners'
a little bit
years of ownership? You think you're influential too?
I've been texting.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.